One of the most extravagant films in cinema's history was shot in 112 locations in 13 countries, requiring 140 sets built, needing 68,894 extras who wore 74,685 costumes. There were 7,959 animals and over 40 famous cameo appearances. Even the titles were designed by Oscar winner Saul Bass. All coordinated, without computers, cell phone, email, or text. Around the world in 80 days, 1956.
Monsieur is going traveling?
Yes, around the world.
Then you will not be here for breakfast. Around the world?
Exactly.
Shot over an astonishing 75 days of filming by a Broadway producer who never made a movie before. All with the mammoth price tag of $8 million.
John, everybody, and I mean everybody, wants to be part of this thing. I just got off the phone with Thailand. The king himself wants to lend us his own barge.
Have you not heard of miniatures models?
I've heard of miniature minds. Small thinkers lack a vision. I'm making the most spectacular movie in the history of cinema, for God's sake, John.
Michael Todd used a revolutionary camera system called Todd AO, an impressive 70mm widescreen format. But his most creative contribution to cinema was his unique film financing and producing techniques.
I am going to make this picture the biggest box office success in the history of cinema. Okay, that's why we need the world's biggest stars.
Michael Todd was an independent producer who disrupted the rigid and established method of securing talent for a film by stacking a film with donated star-studded cameos. Performer star power, in essence, will be all that is needed for a producer to get a film off the ground, a technique referred to as Hollywood make-work films.
Your proposal is essentially to have Hollywood's biggest star in your movie for free.
Yeah.
Around the World in 80 Days has over 40 cameos, including Marlene Dietrich, Ronald Colman, Noel Coward, George Raft, and Frank Sinatra. But even with all this star power and revolutionary technology, Michael Todd needed a heavyweight star to carry the film. Hollywood legend has it, it was Charlie Chaplin himself who suggested just the right man for the job.
And a word of advice, if I may be so bold. Perhaps next time you should try to talk to Cantinflas, not to Mr. Moreno.
I don't see what the difference would be, Mr.
Charlie. My friends call me Charlie.
Mario Fortino Alfonso Moreno Reyes was born in Mexico City, August 12, 1911, known globally by his stage or professional name, Cantinflas. He remains the most successful Mexican film actor, producer, and screenwriter in cinema history. Launching his career with a similar character to Charlie Chaplin's The Tramp, wearing similar shabby clothes, using physical humor, and an identifiable mustache. Cantinflas' character exposes the injustices of impoverished farmers and social injustices. However, Cantinflas' departure from The Tramp would be in the power of sound. Cantinflas was a virtuoso linguist with a mastery of intonation, vocabulary, and syntax, capable of improving poems and soliloquies on the spot that he was unable to do a second take of. His unique, untranslatable humor will make Cantinflas beloved in all the Spanish-speaking countries of Latin America and Spain.
Cansa, ¿verdad? La reacción del calor, ya sé que bochorno hace, ¿verdad? Entonces, relax.
Mario passed up countless offers by Hollywood for decades, including Michael Todd's numerous attempts, reminding the American producer he's not a second bill, he's not a one-liner, he is the world's most recognizable star. It was clear for the film to succeed, it needed Cantinflas more than he needed the film, demanding the character of Passepartout be reimagined.
I am from a very ancient family, sir.
Although seemingly playing the clown stereotype, The character Cantinflas plays turns his blunders into positive pathways to move the story along.
Ay, Dios.
Cantinflas also refused the stereotype of whitewashing his heritage to fit a popular narrative. He played a proud Mexican who even speaks Spanish in the film.
¿Cuánto aproximadamente a qué distancia estamos de Marsella y qué tiempo haríamos agarrando el tren a buena hora?
Scenes were added to highlight Cantinflas' skills, such as this bullfighting scene. And Cantinflas insisted if Latin culture was to be shown, it must be done so in a positive light, removing any Mexico the hell stereotypes popular in cinema at the time. Michael Todd will gamble big to win big on his first motion picture. His gamble paid off. The film became one of the top-grossing films of the year and won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Unfortunately, Michael Todd died in a tragic private plane crash 18 months after the film opened, widowing his young bride, Elizabeth Taylor. Cantinflas edged out Marlon Brando for the Golden Globe for Best Actor. He will only do one more U.S. studio film, finding the language too far of a reach for his natural talents, choosing instead to go out on top and remain a star in America.
Am I right, Scout?
Oh, yes, sir, you're right.